Huh? Good evening all. AJ will be coming probably in about 10 minutes, just waiting to urinate for his drug test, so they'll probably have to follow him here, but just getting ready at the moment, so he will be joining us shortly. Pass over to you guys for any questions you got.
How does this compare in terms of how you're feeling right now compared to the recent? It's very different.
Yeah, weirdly it's a lot easier to take because you know how good Usyk is, and you always know that if you don't get it right, there is a chance you could get beat. The Ruiz fight, I guess we were probably a bit naive at the time, almost walking on air, that AJ would just steamroll through everyone, and that was just a bolt from the blue that you sort of couldn't get over for weeks. Tonight, you just say, it's sport, you got beaten by the better man, what are you going to do about it? Go away, dust yourself down, improve, and try and beat him in the rematch, but that's all you can do. And his mind's working overtime already. You know, he's a very deep thinker. He'll beat himself up for a while, and you know when he'll come in here, he's super positive. Yeah, I don't, you know, but he dedicates everything he does to the sport, so it'll cut him deep. But the Ruiz fight was very different, very different. Tonight he got beat by pound for pound. Fantastic fighter. You know, in New York, it was one of the biggest upsets in heavyweight history. So gutted, but more, you know, just more understanding of that's what happens at high level sport. Yeah. I mean, there's no one could convince him any different. You know, he's got to make changes. He's got to do better. Usyk will probably, I'm pretty sure he'll be a favourite going into the rematch, which was very different to the Ruiz rematch. AJ, look at it. I was just looking at the scorecards then. He was winning the fight through 8 rounds, and he lost every round. 9, 10, 11, 12 on every card. And that was what swung the scorecards. But they're the championship rounds, and that's where Usyk came strong. You know, he did what he did, which was wear down his opponent, probably mentally a little bit as well. And, you know, he won those key championship rounds.
Is the UK stipulated as a venue for the rematch?
No.
So it could be in Ukraine,
yeah? No, very unlikely, I think. Ukraine's not great in February.
So it's
no, on a serious note, we will work together to maximise the revenue. Ukraine, very unlikely, to be honest. I think it'll be international, it'll be in the UK, but I would think it'll be in the UK.
And Eddie, what's the update on Anthony Joshua's eye injury?
I think he's okay. I don't think he's fractured an eye socket. That was the worry at first. He said he couldn't see out of it from the 9th round. His corner done a great job. It's severely swollen, but I think he's okay.
And what has Anthony said since the fight to you?
He hasn't stopped talking for 2 hours about the fight. Chisora's been in, Bellew's been in, you know, and they're all 3 of them tried to solve the master plan. Just positive, upbeat. He doesn't want to, you know, he's not the kind of guy to be licking his wounds. I know he will be inside, but he, you know, when he comes in here, you'll see he'll be very positive. I think in a strange way he enjoyed the fight because I think he knows he learnt so much in the fight, and I think deep down he knows he was beaten by the better man tonight, and he was beaten by an outstanding boxer. So I think I think he needs credit because he could have swerved that fight easy, and maybe we should have, but that's not really what he's about. And you know, I think you got people who will take easy options, and you got people who will choose to fight everybody, and the latter is AJ. And I think us fans, you guys, should give him that credit. It's again same with a rematch. You know, people say, oh, you know, maybe you should have same with Ruiz after that fight, maybe a little 10-rounder. No, absolutely no chance of convincing him to do that. He will want to go straight into the rematch of Oleksandr Usyk because that's what he does. And you know, for that time where I was talking about that 12-fight run that he's been on, Dillian Whyte, Charles Martin, Brazil, Molina, Klitschko, Takam, Parker, Povetkin, Ruiz, Pulev, Usyk. Now you're going to stick Usyk on him again. That's a 13-fight run. I actually feel quite bad. You know, I think someone said in the change room, "Can't we fight Jake Paul or something?" You know, he seems to have to take all these tough fights, but you know, hopefully he's remembered for that. I thought 8-4 was fair. I had it pretty much all square after 8 rounds. I can't remember the 9th round, but I felt like AJ was actually turning the fight. I thought he had a poor start, and then I thought he was coming into the fight, and then Usyk just stepped through the gears and did what he does. I thought Usyk's game plan was spot on, especially coming out, starting the round so quickly, take the middle of the ring. There's so many things AJ could improve on. So many. I don't think it was a very good performance from AJ. Not at all. But how much of that was the quality of Usyk? Probably quite a lot. But he's got to make big improvements to win the rematch, and he's confident he can do it.
Isn't a rematch with Usyk completely different to a rematch with Ruiz?
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that you go in as an underdog, so that's okay. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I think Usyk will be a favourite going into the rematch, but there are, you know, when you talk about that performance from AJ, he can fight so much better than that, so much better than that. But Usyk was brilliant. So how much of that, you know, was it he made AJ fight like that, etc. But I still believe he can do much better against Usyk, but he would have to make some changes.
If it was just up to you, Anthony, and not Anthony, would you advise him to take the rematch next?
Yeah, because I don't, you know, Matt, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to go and have a 10-rounder or fight an interim bout. Ultimately, if he doesn't accept the rematch clause, he will not get a chance to win his World Championships back. Possibly ever, the way this game works. Do you know what I mean? And that was the same with Ruiz. To be honest, I would have actually probably advised him not to take the Ruiz match after that kind of defeat. I know he was outboxed tonight, but against Andy Ruiz, he went down 4 or 5 times, you know, and he was stopped quite badly in that fight. Tonight, he was outboxed, you know, and started to get a little bit beat up towards the end, but, you know, there's a number of reasons for that. But I don't see another option. You know, he's not going to want to go and have a 10-rounder at the O2. He's going to want to try and win his belts back, and again, should be commended for it. And this time, as what will be an underdog in that rematch. I won't say that when he turns up, but we know he will be. But that's what he does, you know. And I think he wants to be remembered to be that kind of fighter. To be honest with you, it wasn't. You know, I know it was taxing in the 12th round, but it wasn't. You know, he said, he's not. It's not like he's this devastating puncher. He's just really good and accurate as well. So I don't feel like the fight took bundles out of him. He was knackered at the end of the fight, but you know, I think he has to. I think he has to take it.
He was obviously very relaxed going into the ring.
Yeah.
Too relaxed.
I asked him that. He said he felt absolutely great. He said he was excited, confident, felt great. I've never seen a fighter do what he does. You know, and I was on the ring walk with him, and I was thinking to myself, what is he doing? You know, one stage he walked off and he saw Johnny Oliver and his wife from Finchley, clocked them, and then walked 10 yards and then thought, actually, I didn't really say hello to her. Went back, gave her a cuddle. You know? But I think Usyk, one thing Usyk does really well is he kind of infiltrates your brain in the lead up to the fight, where you're almost worrying yourself with what he's going to do and how good he is, because everybody tells you how good he is. And I think maybe AJ gave him too much respect in the fight, particularly the early part of the fight.
I'm sure AJ will be much better in the next fight, but so will Usyk. I mean, this was only his 3rd fight as a heavyweight. Are you concerned how much better Usyk will be?
No, I thought that was... I don't know if he can be much better. I hope he can't. But I thought that was... When you look at Usyk's performance as a heavyweight, like that was the best performance of his career, basically. You know, and he's had some unbelievable wins on away soil, but I think he boxed the perfect fight. So I'd like to be more of a half glass full guy and say, can he do it again? Maybe he can raise his game, but maybe he can't box to that level again. Maybe he had the perfect camp. Maybe next time he won't have the perfect camp. Maybe he's now achieved everything he's ever wanted to achieve and might go and put on some weight like Andy Ruiz. I don't know. Like anything could happen. But AJ will, I promise you, he will be much, much better than that in the rematch. He would, you know, it's not that he wasn't at the races. He boxed okay, but not to the level he can box.
Eddie, ideally, where would you want the rematch to be held? About February,
I don't know, February, March. I mean, you know, I'd like to do it in the UK again. But again, we'll sit down with Alex Krasuk and talk about, you know, there's already been a few people on who are interested in staging a rematch. I'd like to do it in the UK. I think, obviously, that would be a benefit to AJ. I thought the atmosphere tonight was unbelievable. But again, you know, we'll sit down with Alex Krasuk and Aegis and see what makes both sense for both guys. Most sense for both guys.
Eddie, I spoke to Lawrence.
Hold on, sorry, Tom, go on.
Usyk entered as a top 5 pound-for-pound entrant. Where would you place him now, given that he's made history, only the third man to win heavyweight championship after?
2. Yeah, after Canelo. I mean, you know, when he was at cruiserweight, everybody called him a top 5 pound for pound. But then when he went to heavyweight, he kind of went off everyone's radar. But after that win, he has to be on everyone's top pound for pound. I mean, yeah, I mean, when you go through the resume of beating Huck in Germany, Gassiev in Russia, Bradis in Latvia, Bellew in Manchester, Chisora in the UK, Joshua, I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, and we, like I said, maybe we should have swerved him and just put the belt in the bin. But that's not what AJ's about. You know? So I come back to giving him credit. I hope people do. Yeah, you know, I see people criticise him. Oh, you know, he didn't box well. Oh, he's not that good. But like, he's consistently proved that he's willing to take all comers, and I think he should be applauded for fighting Oleksandr Usyk twice.
Eddie, I spoke to Lawrence Okoli earlier, and he said that he wanted to see in the rematch probably less boxing from AJ, more the fighter. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think he needs to make changes, but I'm sure he'll do that with the team. And here he is now, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone, hope you're well. All good?
We're good, guys. Questions for AJ? You got Rob up here, myself and Freddie. We'll carry on.
Anthony, I just get a reaction from the fight itself to start off with.
Well done to the winner. And we'll be back again. Get back into training. Great 12 rounds. Great experience as well in the ring. And we progress from this point on once again. So we'll be doing it all again soon.
How's your eye?
Much better now. It's weird. It was bad at one stage. It was bad, then it's getting a lot better now. So it's all good. What went wrong? Just taking a loss, but we'll get it right. Probably in the 9th. From the 9th, I couldn't see in the 9th round. Couldn't see anything really. Like, my eye was shut. But it was a good experience because, like, in adversity, you just got to learn to control yourself, stay on top of things. So when I couldn't see anything, it's the first time it's happened in a fight. So I was thinking, all right, cool, this is the first time my eyes closed up in a fight. I can't see nothing. Like, I'm looking at a one eye kind of thing. And yeah, but it got better as the rounds went on. Good pace, and we'll be back.
Do you want the rematch next?
100%, 110%. I'm ready to get back to training. Because of the 12 rounds, my lungs and everything, it was a good 12 rounder, so I'll be in a good place when I get back into training to pick up where we left off.
Well done on being a great champion.
Huh?
Well done on being a great champion.
Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anthony, in terms of your eye, if it hadn't swollen up and you'd been able to see, what was your strategy in those last few rounds? Same. Continue the process. But
when I couldn't see, I had, yeah. But yeah, just continue the process, to be honest with you.
Actually, you clearly rated Oleksandr, you said before. Were you surprised how good he was then, now in the ring?
With all due respect, not necessarily. He's just a lot lighter, so the pace, he's got a good pace, but he still gets hit. You know, he gets hit a lot. And in the rematch, you'll just learn how to hit him more and be more concussive with our punch selection.
AJ, you obviously prepared a long time for Usyk. Is there anything specifically in the ring that you didn't expect or was struck by in his performance?
I never tend to look at the opponent. I just tend to look at myself and realise where I went wrong. So it's not so much what he done, it's the opportunities I gave him. So it's not so much him, I'm just going to go back and look at myself and correct my wrongs. Yeah.
You know, you was en route to victory and everything was going according to plan through that?
It was a good chess match. I'm a boxer, innit? I'm a box fighter. I wanted to outbox him, do certain things. And then, yeah, after that, my eye, man, just peaked in the 9th round. It was great lesson, though, great lesson. I feel like the whole fight for me, look, for me personally, I'm just learning this game. I'm studying, I'm learning. It's part of the process. Eye closing up. As you said, 8 rounds are going well, and in the 9th, you hit a bit of a little issue happens in the fight. You've got to stay consistent. The other fighter starts putting up more pressure, starts picking up the pace, so you could probably sense something in there. And then we'll come back again. I'll pick up from where we left off now, and then I'll come back and try to be better. I'm sure I'll be better the next one.
And you mentioned the 12 rounds as well. Sorry, you mentioned the 12 rounds as well. And obviously good cardio and stuff. Like
Great cardio, great cardio.
Would you come in lighter, heavier? Are you happy with how everything was with your engine?
Well, I said, I don't tend to look at the weight and think to myself, oh, you know, I want to come in lighter or heavier. I just look at whatever happens in sparring. I just adapt my training to how I'm performing in sparring, and then the weight kind of figures itself out. As a heavyweight, we haven't got to make weight, so I'll just condition myself to how I'm performing when I'm doing my rounds in the ring.
Anthony, do you think would this be easier to get over than the Ruiz defeat? Ellie was suggesting that he thinks it may be.
Oh yeah, look, I'm a different kind of animal. Yeah, I'm not a sulker. You know, this is a blessed opportunity to be able to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world, to fight good fighters time and time again, for people to come out. So yeah, it's a blessed opportunity. I'm not going to go home tonight and be crying about it, because this is war. It's a long process. Like, this isn't just like one fight and then I'm done. I've got an opportunity to go back to the drawing board, so I can't go back and sulk. That's wasting time. I'm going back to look at ways I can improve straight away. I've already been watching the fight and figuring out, I could have done that better already, in my mind anyway. So yeah, I'm not too bothered. But what I'm bothered about is how much better I can get. That's where I'm putting my energy. I'm not putting my energy into sulking. I'm putting my energy into ways I can improve.
AJ, you'll go into this rematch almost certainly as the underdog, which you haven't had for a long while, certainly since Klitschko or maybe before. Could that possibly suit you, that in terms of mentality, that people might not be expecting you to win?
I don't look at it kind of like underdog and whatnot. If you know me, I'm not fussed about. I always say that the belts don't represent me. I represent myself. So underdog or champion is what it is. But I'm just looking to go in there improved, stronger, smarter, and yeah, I believe I'll get a good win in the next fight because of what I learned in this fight. I'm a quick learner, and we'll bounce back.
Anthony, there's been a few kind of criticisms naturally of the game plan to sort of choose to engage Usyk in a bit of a boxing fight. Do you have any regrets about that?
None at all. As I said, it's all about experiences. You've got to trust the process. If it went well tonight, it would have been perfect, but it didn't. So I can't really look at it and have any regrets. We went through the process, but what I'm happy about, as I said, you've always got to look at the positive, is that I can go again. And I've got a chance at becoming, heavyweight champion of the world again. So only positives from here, moving forward. I've had enough of looking at things from a negative point of view. Like, we always tend to look at things from a negative point of view. I'm just keeping a positive head on my shoulders. And game plan or not, as I always say, the game plan is to win. The game plan is praying. The game plan is to win, and that's all I focus on. I'm not really worried about anything else that happened tonight.
Anthony, thank you again for coming to talk to us.
No problem.
Was it a fight where you felt you were getting a foothold and building momentum at any stage?
Always. There were certain things I was doing in the fight that I've never done before, as I'm gaining experience. So yeah, I felt like I had a good foothold in the fight, and I'm going to build on that. I'm definitely going to build on that.
Could I ask, Anthony, could I ask your coach, Rob McCracken?
Feel free.
Rob, obviously you will have seen what happened tonight, and Anthony was box fighting, a boxer. What would you suggest is a game plan, a better plan going into a second fight? Because that's obviously what Anthony wants, what Eddie has told us he wants. Where do you go back to with the drawing board, and what do you do against this guy, Usyk, the second time
there's
round?
no drawing board, Gareth.
The proverbial.
Yeah, there's no drawing board, to be honest. You've got to apply pressure behind your jab and your right hand, and you've got to keep him off balance, and you've got to put shots together when you get there. But as we've seen tonight, Usyk's a very good boxer. But look, Anthony's already addressed that he's learning on the job, and he showed that in the Ruiz rematch. And I've got no doubts that if he applies himself, which he will, that he'll get a great performance in the rematch, because Usyk's boxed tremendously well tonight, and Anthony will have learnt loads tonight. You've got to apply better pressure with a fighter like that and not give him too much time, and that's really what should happen.
Did you feel, Anthony, that you had him hurt at times in there? Certainly the 5th and the 6th round, you had a lot of success to the body, and you seemed to have ascendancy in those rounds.
Yeah, definitely. But we went 12 rounds, so yeah, you hit people hard, you hurt them, but they're smart. They're good boxers. At this level, people know how to survive. When you hit someone hard, they know how to ride the shot. They're just quite intelligent at this level. So even though you hurt them, it's not so concussive where the next punch that lands is going to knock them out. It's like chopping down a big tree. It takes a bit of time. It takes a few shots with an axe. When you're at a different level or a lower level, it's a lot easier to knock someone out. So I'm at a stage in my career where I'm trying to progress and I'm trying to level up, and I will get there for sure. And when I was walking back through the tunnel, I just said to myself, I'm ready to get back to the gym. I'm ready to just put that work in. Like, most people, when they finish a fight, it's like, yeah, let me go out and have a bit of fun. But my mindset is a bit different. Like, I just want to get back to the gym and get back on the grind so I can improve. So when I'm fighting these good guys, when I do see that they're hurt, etc., I can capitalize on the opportunity once again. But as I said, it's a great lesson today. It was a great lesson. I know we can look at it from a negative point of view, but for me, I've got to take it as a great lesson and build on that situation.
You grew after the Andy Ruiz fight. We've seen you grow. Are you going to grow from this now?
100%. As I said, I'm not a weak person. I don't want to be in my bedroom sulking about the situation. I'm looking at it from a point of view great lesson. Go back, study. And just rejuvenate myself, because no one's going to do it for me. I can't depend on anyone to come and pick me up and pat me on the back. That's why I'm not going to, put my head in my palms and cry all night about it. I'm going to lift myself up. I'm going to look myself in the mirror and say, I know I can do it. I just got to put myself up to it. And that's where I want to get back to training, back to the drawing board, and get back on the gravy train again. It's like, if this was the end of the story, it'll be more emotional for me, but I know that I trust in my process. Whatever's happening, good and bad, I just trust in my process.
And Anthony, it was the first southpaw fighter that you fought since Charles Martin. Did that make it extra difficult on the night?
There's an old saying in it: if you want to go down as a great fighter, don't fight southpaws. especially good ones. So he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Southpaws are tricky, right? They're not the easiest fighters. I know if I was fighting an orthodox fighter, I probably would have knocked him out by the 9th, no matter who it is. But I know this experience today is invaluable, and the next fight will benefit me a lot. This what I went through today will have a massive benefit for me in the next fight, right? I don't think it's going to do me any worse. I'm going to come out with a positive mindset, with great experience from this fight, from the whole training camp that I can build on. So it's not a bad thing.
And after the fight, did you exchange words with Oleksandr Usyk?
No, after the fight, no. I was just quite disappointed. It was a fast-paced fight. I was catching my breath. But in the changing room, I've just said to him, I'll see you again, really. I'm looking forward to it. Sent a message to his kids as well, saying hello, and that's it.
AJ,
couple more questions, guys.
I know you're looking forward into the future, how you're going to come back from this, of course, and you've got a positive mindset. But does any part of you look back to the fact that that undisputed fight was so close, and now, you know, it's back to square one, starting again, getting those title backs? Does it frustrate you a little bit?
Nah. Like the road to undisputed and stuff is like it's marketing, isn't it? Like when I pulled up today, it just reminds me like of it's like a big circus. Like this is the greatest show on earth. But for someone like me, I don't really. The road to undisputed and all that stuff is good. As I said, I'll fight Tyson Fury, Wilder, whatnot, without the belts. The belts is fun. It's great. It's legacy. But with or without the belts, I'll fight whoever. You know, the road to undisputed is a nice title to have and a nice title to chase. But would you still watch it without the belts?
100%.
Exactly. So that's the main thing, is that you got two competitive fighters in the ring from UK soil that just want to go toe to toe.
I think it's important to address as well that we had a full-packed stadium today, 70,000. Probably the biggest since the lockdown. A few words for the fans that came out today.
Sorry, a few words
to the fans that came out.
I'm just hoping that they're happy. Like, obviously, certain fans that were here for Usyk are happy. Certain fans that were here for me aren't happy. So I'm just hoping that they had a good night tonight, because that's what matters to me. I just want to make sure that people appreciate the work I put in, because I don't take it for granted. As I always say, is that when I come out, I'm not just looking at like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm looking at like, that's why I want to get back to the gym and work hard, because I don't take it for granted. I know how these people put their time and effort into supporting me. And I know it's going to upset some people that I lost, but I say keep positive. Like, this is just part of life. Everyone's going through stuff in their life. I go through some stuff. Mine's just publicised to people. And we just got to keep on moving, keep my head up. No one's going to pick me up. That's what I'm trying to say, is we'll go through stuff. And I'm just going to get back on the gravy train. Hope people had a good time tonight. And I hope they can learn from my situation and not give up. Like, stay strong. Like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And we'll see when roughly next year.
Yeah,
next year. I'll see them all next year. Moving up from cruiserweight. Power, yeah. Everyone can punch. Yeah, everyone can punch. We'll go again soon.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming. Thanks for waiting behind. And
thank you very
safe trip
much.
home, everyone. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. See you soon. See you.
No, it's cool.